All right, let's just dive right in. What is our world actually going to look like in 2030? It's a question that can feel like something straight out of science fiction. But the thing is, the answer is being written right now in real time. So today, we're going to take a journey and explore the incredible innovations set to define the next decade, starting with the pulse of today's tech and looking all the way out to that 2030 horizon. And look, this isn't about flying cars or some kind of far-off fantasy. No, we're talking about real, data-driven predictions for the very near future. These are based on technological leaps that are already happening. And honestly, some of them are just staggering. Okay, get this. 1 second. By 2030, projections say that's how long it could take to charge an electric car for a full kilometer of range. Just let that sink in. You pull over, you plug in, and before you can even properly check a text message, you're good to go. That's a game changer. Or what about this number? 82%. That's the predicted percentage of all new cars sold in China that'll be electric by 2030. We're not talking about a slow, gradual transition here. This is a massive, seismic shift in one of the biggest markets on the planet. And this whole transformation, it's not just about cars. How about 500 million? That's the number of people who are projected to be using spatial computing every single day. We're talking about blending our physical and virtual worlds in a seamless way. 500 million people living, working, and interacting in a completely new kind of reality. Wow. Okay, so those are some pretty wild glimpses of the future, right? But to really get a handle on where we're headed, we gotta ground ourselves in what's happening right now. So let's take the pulse of innovation as it is today. And for that, we'll be looking at some insights from the Global Innovation Index. And here's where things get interesting. It's a bit of a surprising contrast, actually. With all the news we hear about breakthroughs, you'd think investment in innovation is just exploding, right? Well, it's actually slowing down. Global R&D growth in 2024 was only 2.9%. That's a huge drop from the decade average of 8%. So yeah, that's signaling some pretty serious headwinds for the whole innovation economy. But there's a really powerful counter-narrative to that slowdown. Some technologies just seem to defy the broader trends. Take solar energy. The cost has plunged an incredible 90% since 2010. It's now way cheaper than fossil fuels. It just goes to show that some technological progress builds its own kind of unstoppable momentum. The problem is this progress isn't being shared equally, not even close. Just look at this table. It really lays the disparity bare. In high-income countries, you've got about 38 broadband subscriptions for every 100 people. Now look at low-income countries. It's just 1. That massive digital divide is, without a doubt, one of the biggest hurdles we face in trying to build an equitable future. All right, so that's a quick snapshot of the present. Now let's turn our gaze back to the horizon. What are the big, transformative technologies that are really going to redefine our world by 2030? First up, automation is literally breaking out of the factory cage. We're seeing the rise of what are called cobots, that's collaborative robots, and they're working right alongside humans in warehouses on production lines. They're basically designed to take on all those repetitive tasks, which boost efficiency and helps fill some really critical labor gaps. And this kind of intelligence is reshaping entire industries. Let's take retail. AI is now optimizing every single step of the supply chain. By getting way better at predicting what customers want and managing stock, it's projected to slash the costs of just holding on to unsold inventory by a whopping 72%. That's not just a small efficiency gain, folks. That is a complete revolution in how these businesses operate. Even something as basic as how we get from point A to point B is being totally rewritten. The future of mobility is all about ACEs. That stands for autonomous, connected, electric, and shared. It's the combination, the convergence of these 4 big trends that's going to make things like self-driving cars and on-demand mobility the new normal. But of course, this super automated, electrified, intelligent future, well, it needs a colossal amount of energy. So the big question is, how are we going to power all of it? And that brings us to our next really critical topic. The potential here is just immense. By 2030, renewables like solar and wind could be generating over 65% of all our electricity. That's huge. But there's one major bottleneck, our grid. The infrastructure that actually delivers all that power to us is decades old. It just wasn't built to handle the on-again, off-again nature of solar and wind. So enter a potential game changer. Solid-state batteries. The concept is actually pretty simple. but it's totally revolutionary. You take the flammable liquid electrolyte that's inside today's lithium-ion batteries, and you replace it with a solid, stable material. Just that one change, and this technology promises to solve some of our biggest energy challenges, everything from safety to performance. And just to give you an idea of the scale of this leap, right now our current batteries hold about 250 to 300 watt-hours per kilogram. Solid-state batteries, they're targeting 400 to 500. So what does that mean for us? It means lighter, safer, faster charging, and much longer-lasting energy storage for literally everything, from our phones to our cars to the power grid itself. But here's the thing, managing this new energy landscape, optimizing all these new systems, it's all going to require a completely new level of intelligence. And that brings us to what is maybe the most profound shift on the horizon: the accelerating development of what's known as artificial general intelligence, or AGI. You see, progress in AI isn't a straight line anymore. It's becoming a self-reinforcing cycle. Think of it like a flywheel. Step 1, an AI model solves a complex problem. Step 2, that correct solution becomes perfect, high-quality training data. And step 3, that new data is used to train an even more capable model. It's this powerful cycle where progress just feeds on itself, getting faster and faster and faster. And the results we're seeing already are just wild. On benchmarks like GPQA Diamond, we're talking PhD-level science questions here. AI is now outperforming human PhDs. In really complex software engineering tasks, it's hitting expert-level performance. So this isn't about just doing repetitive tasks anymore. This is high-level reasoning we're talking about. But the ultimate vision here, and this is really important, isn't about replacement. It's not human versus machine. It's all about collaboration. The truly powerful applications are going to come from using this tech as a tool to amplify our own intelligence, our own creativity, a true partnership between humans and machines. Okay, so we've taken the pulse of today, we've looked out at the horizon of tomorrow. Now let's bring it all together and ask the most important question of all. What does any of this mean for you, for us? Well, the implications are absolutely massive. I mean, think about jobs. Some tech startups are already reporting that AI is writing 95% of their new code. That raises some pretty fundamental questions about the future of work. Then there's the challenge of trust. In a world full of AI-generated content, how do we know what's real? And what about equity? Are these breakthroughs going to widen that digital divide we saw earlier, or will they actually help close it? This, right here, is the central challenge of the next decade. The technology is accelerating. There's no doubt about it. So the real question for all of us, for policymakers, for businesses, for society as a whole, is how do we steer this incredible progress? How do we make sure we create a future that isn't just more advanced, but is also more equitable and genuinely beneficial for everyone? I want to leave you with a really powerful thought from the AI pioneer, Fei Li. She said that AI is like water. It's a pervasive technology that will permeate every aspect of our lives and our industries, just like water. So the intelligent world of 2030, it's not just on the horizon. In so many ways, it's already here. The only real question left is, what are we going to build with it?